And hello friends, with you Potato, and this is the second part of the guide on the fashion of extra botany for version 1.16.5. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. But we're getting started. Next, what I wanted to consider first of all are the various lenses. There are as many as 6 new lenses to add Sasha, and moreover unusual but quite interesting. So let's look at them quickly. The first lens is called the Mono lens. Firstly, it is made from a mono lens, a mono rune, and also mono powder. Let's put it back and take the items for her test, because you can do the following here. Let's say, look, a fried chicken is converted into a fried chicken, namely, just throw it here on the stream, and it will be processed in the same way. So, why don't we have anything flying here by the way? Let's give the Wanderer one more time. But because here we have the wrong distributor by the way, then let's put a better pool of mana here, so that mana is transmitted, and look like this. Yes, it's being transmitted very well now. I throw a fried chicken here on the stream, and yes, look, here it is transformed into a fried chicken. It's the same as if we were throwing mana into a pool of mana. Let's throw some kind of diamond here. Opa, look, and now he's going to be remade. But no, unfortunately there is not enough mana. But look, if we had a bigger mana flow here, then it would also be remade and become a moon diamond. Also, you can put a magical catalyst, let's say, under this distributor here, and now throw it here on the way to redstone, and see what happens. Unfortunately, we do not have enough of it again, but in general, it had to be converted into 2 redstones as well. But still, you can also use catalysts, that is, put it under it, and redo something here. But the truth is something simpler than redstone. The next form of mana is called a potion. It is already becoming more complicated. From the lens of mana, the rune of spring, mana powders, dragon stones, and also a bubble from the air of Mender. We put it back, and you can combine it with any custom cocktail. Let's assume in this case the speed. Just like that, hop and connect, get lenses, mana, a potion for speed. Insert it here, and now let's release it. Look up, it hits us, namely this ray, and the speed is superimposed on 30 seconds of the second level. Well, it will also act on other living beings. The next mana lens is called a push. It is made of mana powder, mana lens, and also exactly earth. We put it back. Now we just release mana here, and look, it literally drags us somewhere there, namely pushes. It will be the same with animals. Let's say I want to move a cow like this, here I remember it, Opa, and release a stream of mana. She moves around with this mana in a funny way. Edith is about up to here. The next linsman is called melting. It is made from mana powder, linsamana, and also fire runes. As the name implies, this thing will melt ore. Namely, you just put blocks here, and release a stream of mana. And so he melts everything perfectly, and immediately drops ore, and even whole iron ingots, from the lens of destruction. The penultimate lens is called a superconductor. By the way, we do not have it done in any way. Let's put it back, I'll throw it away, and in general, here all our characteristics are improving, our distributor that is, becomes more powerful, man flies faster from it, and also further. And finally, the last lens is called the Mana Trace lens. It is made of mana powder, mana lenses, and greed runes. Let's put it back and release a bundle of mana. Look, in order to happen, this mana should generally follow us completely. For some reason, it wasn't being done now. Let's do it again. Up, release. And so, yes, look, this mana is right behind us right now. Such a one is flying, and right clearly pointing at us. By the way, you can combine this lens with the damage lens and thus impose it on this distributor, and it will be such a glowing cannon that will shoot mana and kill everyone. Next, let's look at the armor from this mod. The first thing we will consider is the set of the Star Idol. The whole thing is done from the mono steel armor element, and also all this is lined with mono fabric in 8 pieces. Naturally, a bib, trousers are also made, and it is this skirt that will also be shoes by the way. Let's try it on quickly, which by the way, according to the properties, this armor will just be good, so save on mana. That is, when you use some staffs, less mana will be spent. Now let's put it on faster, and watch it at 5. Yes, this is of course a complete crunch, a potato in a skirt. And look at what has grown up in front of me, in short, in general, a complete crunch. From behind by the way, it looks like this. We even have a little raincoat so funny. Armor is given by the way, this thing is 1 armor, 5 armor whole, 4 and 2. So well, then we have something better and more interesting. The first is the armor called Goblin Slayer. It is made of photonium. But the photonium is already being made on the runic altar. Here, you will need as many as 5 spirits of fuel, and gilded mashed potatoes, and also 3 ingots of the element. You will get 3 photoniums, and also spend as much mana. Gilded mashed potatoes are made from a bowl, sugar, and also gilded potatoes. And gilded potatoes are also made on the runic altar of 4 potatoes, a gold ingot, and we end up with as many as 4 gilded potatoes. Okay, now let's take a look. From this photonium, you can make yourself armor, also some weapons, in the future, a special chaos, and in principle everything. Armor, by the way, is made by default, like everything else, only from photonium. Now let's try it on quickly. We put it on, and it looks really beautiful. Look at how this whole thing is worked out here. What a tridash she is. Just this helmet. The back, by the way, is not so good, but in principle, look at how cool it all looks in front. Let's look at the characteristics. The helmet gives us plus 50% maximum health, plus 4% speed, armor hardness 1, armor 2. Then the breastplate is also 50% 4%, armor hardness 1 and armor 7. Then here we have everything the same, only armor 5, and here armor 3. But look what's the matter. Let me go into survival mode now. And now you can see that I have an additional row of hearts added, namely here there are even 2 additional rows, because plus 200% gives out this armor. Let's try to make myself feel better now. I'm going to fall from a height like that, but I'm going to lose it, and you can see I still have 1 layer of extra hearts hiding there. And then there will only be ordinary hearts. That is, in the end, we have as many as 3 rows of hearts, which is very cool. How literally 3 potatoes are on us now. But what's the matter here, is that if there is a night, then all these buffs will be removed. And now the speed is dropping from us, and it also seems that we will now have only 2 rows of hearts. Well, I'll give it to you. Now we will even have only 1 row, and everything else is removed. That is, all additional buffs, except for armor and also hardness, will now be inactive on us until the next morning. That is, here we have a new day, and everything is superimposed on us again. In short, the armor is really very cool, especially for light warriors like these, who travel only during the day. The next armor is called the Shadow Warrior armor. It is already made of mrakium, such a dark ingot, and it in turn is made from 5 nightmare fuels, 3 ingots of elementals, and gilded mashed potatoes. All this is done, by the way, on the runic altar, almost the same, only here, the fuel of nightmares is already, and accordingly, the armor is made exactly the same. And there is also a sword like this in addition, called a shadow katana. It is made from a branch of the tree of life, also 2 mrakiums. Let's take this armor and try it on. Also, by the way, let's take a sword and eventually test it. We put on the armor, it looks like this. It's just as beautiful as if we are some kind of samurai, and practically nothing is superimposed on us, except here. We have the following characteristics: armor hardness 1, armor 2, 6, 5, and also 2. But let's make it night now, and this armor will be active at night. Here, we are already given night vision 2, for infinitely, namely for the whole night. And also at night now we are getting stronger, and this sword does not deal 6 damage, but now 7, even 8 was. Well, let's check it out. Here are 7, and in general 7 damage, but for some reason, I even wrote 8 before that. Just as it is written in the book, a full set gives us speed, strength, and as we can already see night vision, but for some reason, I don't have the speed of strength. Although, maybe there is actually a little bit of it. And also, when we attack with this sword, we have a chance to summon a dark pixie. The same as the usual pixies, only it will be dark like this. Well, in principle, the functionality of this armor ends. The next armor is called the Arrow Defender armor. It will be really very powerful, but it is done on Boo, and so here is the area of light or something like that. To create it, you will need a phantom membrane, a bubble with ender air, a dragon stone, and in the end, you will need to do it all on that pedestal, where you make terrastals, and 1,000,000 mana is involved. It turns out only 1 ingot, but this ingot will help you make this very cool armor. The helmet is being made. From the helmet we came, these 3 ingots, 2 branches of the tree of life, and also the runes of spring. The bib is also made, only here we have a rune in summer, pants a rune in autumn, and finally boots. Here we have the rune of winter. Each armor element gives the following characteristics: attack speed plus 3% damage, plus 10% flight speed plus 10%, usually speed plus 10%, armor hardness 2 and armor 4. Also here armor 8, 7, and finally stream. Let's try it on, and also take a creeper, try to beat him. So, first of all, I'm putting on this armor. It looks very cool, as if it were some kind of light warrior, straight, I do not know, in quantum, or something even cooler than quantum. You can see now that the rush is already being imposed on me. Also, my damage has been increased by as much as 40%. The attack speed is also increased. It turns out that by 12%. It turns out that I'm hitting a little faster now. You are not paying attention to these swords now. We will not take it away, but it is from this very cool sword. By the way, also from this supplement. Well, now let's try to beat the creeper. So let's make it easy and beat the creeper. We deal him 1 damage, so with a jump 2. Well, in principle, Now we will just deal more damage to it. Also, with this armor, we will now have a much faster bowstring pull. Just look at how fast we shoot, take off this armor, and now how slowly the bowstring is being pulled. With this armor, by the way, there is also a special bow, which we will consider a little later. Although it can even be said that this bow does not belong to this armor because it is a separate relic. But by the way, it can be used just the same with this armor. After all, this armor is really for a defender shooter. The next armor is called the armor of the battle maid of the Pleiades. Yes, it's certainly tin. It's going to be a very poor potato again now, but the armor is actually really very cool. And here, to create it, you will need this kind of Rhine gold. It is made of gold ingot, for mono fabrics, and 4 spirits of the traffic police. It's all consider that there will be a type of improved armor of old steel. The armor itself is made of old steel armor. This is just the same gold of the Rhine, and 3 bars of the traffic police. That's how the terrace is made, pants and finally shoes. Let's try it on. And this is how she will look. Yes, the potato is just a cutie again in a skirt. She even has such ears like this. What does this armor give? First of all, the maximum health is +5, here is also +5. That is, in the end, we have a second health bar. Also armor hardness 3, and C armor 4, 9, 7, and also 4. In short, very powerful armor. And with this armor, your attacker will deal as much as 9 damage. You figure it out, you will literally hit even harder, in my opinion. Yes, stronger than an invisible sword. He deals 8 damage, and now you hit 9 damage just with your hand. Let's try hidden, and 9, wait, 10 damage is also dealt here. Also, this armor will remove all negative effects for you, and will regenerate you, even if you have less hunger than necessary. Next, let's look at this kind of chaos. It is made of 2 ingots of Antonium, a fragment of the spirit, and also 2 mercs of the mind. You will need this thing to create, like this, a pistol. This is an improved mana pistol. You can also put a mana lens on it, and shoot mana. By the way, it is made of 3 ingots of Antonium, an ingot of Nostali, chaos, and the mana emitter itself. You can also make a Discord staff like this. Honestly, I don't remember how it translates to Discord, but in general, with the help of it, you can teleport coolly. And finally, you can do this kind of thing. This is a ticket for the call of the traffic police of the 3rd level. The staff, by the way, is made of 2 branches of the tree of life, 2 pal sci-fi, also chaos. Well, the ticket is made from an ingot of the spirit of the traffic police, and also chaos. Let's look at the pistol. I'll put this lens on it right away, and shoot mana. Consider it just an improved mana distributor in your hands. It will hurt more to shoot. By the way, look at how many pigs here I remembered. Then Discord staff. We just poke the PC, we get a little nausea, but still we teleport, and quite well. And finally, a 3rd level traffic police draft ticket. We will already consider it in the next part. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.